All right, guys. Hey, good to see you. It is July 26th at 9:02 p.m. I'm rendering out the last video that I have of week 4, which is kind of a moment in time I wanted to capture real quick. You can see it's kind of getting dark outside. Um, but I'm rendering out this week 4 videos. And the reason why this is something I wanted to capture is this brings me all up to the point of the videos that I've been recording the last few weeks in preparation of launching this on YouTube. So one of the things I've got on my Kanban board for the marketing and advertising side of the business, you can see here I had one which was compile, edit week 1 through week 4 videos. Um, all of them have been compiled and produced and ready to be uploaded to YouTube. The last one is week 4 video. So technically, it is still week 4, right? It's in Saturday evening, so tomorrow's going to kick off week 5. But the goal for this week is to get ready for launch. And once this video, right now, it's compiling and it's getting ready to. It's basically creating the file that I'm going to need for YouTube. So um, while that's going, I wanted to do a quick quick talk through what's going on here. I'm excited. This was the goal to get this done, get these videos ready. I wanted to have a good chunk of episodes ready to go by the time this hit the internet and just have a good amount to launch with. So going forward, I'm going to keep the same cadence, the same rollout process with recording in the morning, recording any kind of actual work that's happening in the evenings, and tonight happens to be wrapping up all the videos I wanted to have ready to go. It's basically 1 month of recordings, ready to go for the launch of this, announcing it for YouTube. Something else that happened this evening. So today, this afternoon, my brother has a pool, and he invited our family over, and we all got together. And I was wearing my Common Creatives gear, and just had an opportunity to talk to some of my family members about what I'm up to, and that I'm about to launch this. So, any family members that you're watching this and you were at that pool party, thanks for hearing my aspirations, my dreams, and trying to kick this off. You guys are always supportive, and I'm just so grateful for all of you. So, um, for those watching this on the internet, this is going to be a video that carries over into week 5, and that's just because week 4, all the videos right now are compiling and getting ready to be produced. So this video is technically shot in week 4, but it will be part of week 5's compilation and carrying them into week 5. So I'm excited. I'm getting ready. The next thing I've got after this video is done. I'm going to go ahead and mark that one off. You'll see that the next coming up steps here is going to be post to YouTube. And we can call this card done in the complete. The next step is going to be design, develop, and send out email campaign announcing YouTube How I Got Here series. And that's going to be week 5. So that's going to be great. My goal for week 5 is to get that ready to go, get the campaign ready to go. I mentioned I'm doing a Redwoods trip with my dad, going up to Northern California. So that's going to be not this next week, but the next. So plan is currently is to get this all ready to be launched, maybe launch end of next week, and I can roll into the following week feeling excited about hitting the road with my dad, talking about what's next in life, and spend 14 hours in the car with him talking through all of this. So exciting times. I am really excited about all of this, and can't wait to get it out there for you guys. Again, if you're watching these are already on the internet. So thanks for staying with me. Like, comment, and subscribe. And thanks for coming along the journey and what it looks like to be an entrepreneur in Salt Lake City, Utah, in today's America in 2025, trying to get a business off the ground and out into the world. So, all right, guys, I'm going to let this video finish up. Once it's done, knock it off my list and move on to the next. All right, See ya.
All right, beautiful morning. Here we go. July 28th, 2025. Here we are. It's a beautiful morning again. We're getting close to August. Um, the sun is feeling a little bit lower each morning. Um, but you know that feeling when you feel like summer's coming a bit to an end? We still got all of August left, but there's definitely a change in the feeling as you get closer to school starting. That's starting to get the feels. Um, my family's getting ready for that. We've got about 2 more weeks of summer break, and then they are back in school. So, been a lot of talk about that coming up. I mentioned that I've got some PTO time, some personal time off that I've got to work off from before my last day here at my current 9 to 5 setup. And so I'm going to be spending some time doing that. So it is Monday, but I'm going to be out doing that. So I've got some things I'm going to try to do leading up to that. With me taking some time off, I've got some more free time to work on Common Creatives, get this out the door. I mentioned I'm going to go on a trip with my dad coming up next week. Yesterday was Sunday. I mentioned earlier videos. Sunday's a day of rest, break for me. So didn't do any work yesterday. Spent time spending time with my community. Went to church. Just rested, took a nap, spent time with my family, and served others. So Sundays are a good recharge day, and I'm gonna go this path up here. They're really needed, really restful. I'm appreciating them more and more as I get older. Worked really hard during the week, doing my 9 to 5 gig. Work hard in the evenings, doing this gig, trying to get this off the ground and going. And then Sundays is a day of rest where I spend time with my family, do some worship, and serve others. So yesterday was that. Feel recharged, ready for another week. I feel good. Let's see. So yeah, I've got the next 2 weeks. I'm going to be out of my normal 9 to 5. I'm using up some personal time off. The last day for my current 9 to 5 is going to be August 15th. It's a Friday. So, and then August 18th is when I start my new setup. So, things I'm going to be working on today. So I got all of the videos set up, ready to go. I've been spending the last few days have been doing some compiling on the videos. Got them in some video editors. Honestly, that went faster than I thought it was going to be. I've got a whole month of these videos that I recorded, as you guys are watching already, if you're watching. And that's been good. That the plan for that was I wanted to have a good chunk of videos on there that people could watch at the launch of this. So I'm now going into week 5. If you're watching these are all posted on the internet. But let's see, about Friday through Saturday, I went into the video editor and got these all compiled and ready to launch. So that went a lot quicker than I thought. Found a good way to get them set up, and so the editing went really quick, and they're all ready to go. So I didn't show my family the intro video, and we both felt like it was a little too long. Right now it's about 30 minutes long, and I'm pretty redundant. So I mentioned I'm not going to edit most of these videos. The intro one, I think I am going to cut that one down a little bit just because, yeah, I'm redundant. It's too long for an intro. And so most of these are going to be straight, unedited. The intro will be edited just to be a little more concise. And so I'm going to spend some time doing that. And the other thing on the list I've got is I'm going to be starting the development of the email campaign. I'm going to be using MailChimp, and I've got some templates already saved. I'm going to be updating the template and doing a design for it. So I'm going to get that ready to go. That's going to be this week. Quick update on Venmo. My Venmo friends, I've had like 100 back and forth emails. Again, they don't do any kind of support phone calls. It's all email, and they're like 6 hours behind on trying to get any kind of response. And so it's been really poor. Apparently, you can only have one business account associated with a personal account. Your account is associated by a telephone number. And if you change a business account on your personal account, it's like pulling off of your arms. It's so like, and it's been really interesting. Like I was saying to them, like, people change businesses all the time, and you're telling me I can't do this. So apparently, it's really, really hard to change a business account that's associated with your personal account, and you can only have one. So I currently have one that's to my freelance business that's not Common Creatives, and it's been really hard to recover and change that account. So the last thing they told me is if I want to do that, I have to basically delete my other business account. I had to delete my personal account. I had to start all the way over to create a new personal account, and so I can associate it with a new business account. And it's just crazy, crazy weird. So I'm trying to salvage that. I really want to use the Venmo. If we can't, I think we're launching with PayPal. So if you're watching this and you still want to donate and help, PayPal's the route, which is kind of crappy. I don't like that answer. So still really trying to get that set up. So that's this week. Make sure videos are ready to go. Edit the intro video. Get the email campaign ready to launch. The email campaign is going to be part of a whole message blast throughout all. So once I want to do the email campaign, I'm also going to update all of my social media accounts to include a derived message of the email campaign and send it out. All right. I think that's it for now. I debated about telling you guys my work history. It's related to how I got here. I've kind of gone back and forth. I'm like, should I go into that? Should I not? And I realized, you know what? Like, anybody who can look me up on LinkedIn is going to see my work history anyways, and I'm posting messages on LinkedIn about this anyway. So I'm just going to tell you. So before I say that, I want to express any past coworkers, any past employers. I want to express my deep gratitude for the invitation and opportunities you've given me to work at your businesses and your companies. You put faith in me that I could be a valuable contributor to your business, and I want to thank you, especially my current employer, who I'm now going to be transitioning out of that role. Express deep, deep gratitude and appreciation for the last 7 years you've given me to work there. My new employer that's coming up here, if any of you are watching that, I would express my deep, deep gratitude and appreciation. The faith that you've put in me, the confidence you've put in me to come work with your teams. know that I am 100% dedicated to helping accomplish the role that you've given to me, um, and the 9 to 5 contracted time, and then outside of those on personal time, I'm working on my personal goals of trying to get this business off the ground and help other people in my community. So that being said, let me tell you, for those who are watching, I want to give you a quick rundown of my past work experience. Um, and I wanted to tell you these because it relates to how I got here. They all have given me opportunities to improve in my skill set, which I am relying on almost all of them to get this off the ground. So, that being said, here we go. I started, I mentioned in a previous video, I did my schooling at Utah Valley University. It's a little bit smaller college, university, just north of BYU. BYU is in Provo, Utah. Utah Valley University is a little bit smaller college. When I started there, it was UVSC, Utah Valley State College. And while I was there, it converted to a university. I got my undergrad bachelor's degree in digital media. It's like a computer science degree, but it's a digital media degree with an emphasis in internet technologies. Naturally, I would say my natural abilities, skills, talents have been in design, in digital design. And in fact, in high school, I went to a tech center. My senior year, I went to the tech center off campus. My senior year, I spent most of my days at a tech center learning Photoshop, Adobe Flash, did some photography. And honestly, it was the first time that I feel like I was really excelling in a school topic. I did fine in school, wasn't the highest GPA in high school, but I did okay. And but it wasn't until my senior year that I identified what I really was good at, which was digital media. I was introduced to Adobe Flash, Photoshop, photography, videography, and I absolutely loved it. Okay, I jumped back a little bit to high school. After high school, I served a mission. And so in 2002, I served a mission for the church that I belonged to. And I went to Argentina. I spent 2 years in Argentina serving the people there. I learned firsthand that it wasn't monetary value that brought you happiness, but serving others and following the gospel of Jesus Christ, what brought happiness in life. I met people that were dirt poor, that lived in shacks, literally made out of garbage. I met people that lived in gated communities, and I spent my days for 2 years walking the streets, the dusty roads of Argentina, meeting people, serving people, and teaching them about Jesus Christ and the atonement and the restoration of his gospel in these latter days. From there, when I got home, when I knew I wanted to do more schooling, get an education, go to college. I wasn't 100% sure. I remembered my experience in high school doing those classes and how I absolutely loved it and excelled in it. And so UVSC at the time, now UVU, offered a digital media degree with an emphasis in internet technologies. I actually started at Salt Lake Community College. I did some basic general classes, and then transferred to UVSC, where I spent the next 3 years doing my undergrad. It took me 3 years. I got married during that time to my high school sweetheart. We got married, had a little home in Lehi, Utah. Lehi, Utah is the point of the mountain. It's right at that area I've been talking about. In fact, I'll do a little spin here. Lehi is, we've been talking about our goal right here. Lehi is just at the base of this mountain, just right in this area, right in the heart of Silicon Slopes, where we started our family, and we had our first child there. And I finished out school. It took me 3 years to do my undergrad. I went nonstop throughout the summers. College for me at those time was more about getting in and getting out than it was about a social event. I was already married, and just wanted to get done and move on. So while I was working, or while I was going to school, I got a job working for the university. I worked for call centers. Actually, before that, I worked for call centers. I worked for a company called 1-800-Contacts, where I was on their call center, and I spent my hours outside of school at a customer service line, where I learned the value of putting the customer first. If you put the customer first, everything else falls into place. And I learned a lot of valuable lessons about being customer obsessed. And at the time, I was on their call center. I took a job with them because I was going to school during the day. I took a job with them, a shift that started at 5 a.m. I had to be on a support phone call at 5 a.m. in the morning. A little bit about them time. Let me say that again. A little bit about them is in. So this is the year 2004. In 2004, 2005 time, it would have been 2005, maybe 2006, somewhere in there. They were doing really great, and upcoming good business. They were not 24 hours. Their support line wasn't 24 hours. They were just starting to do. They were just starting to explore having the call center in off hours, including 4 a.m., 5 a.m. And it was a good setup for me because I needed to have something that was really flexible with school, and they were exploring getting somebody answering phone calls at 5 a.m. to place orders for contact lenses. So I still remember being the only person in their call center at 5 a.m. I had to report there. I already mentioned I'm not a morning person, so it was tough. But I was the only person in the dark, one light on me, sitting in a big room of cubicles in a call center at 5 a.m. waiting for people to call in to order contact lenses. So, literally, it was just me. That was the only person in there. But I was grateful for it because it was flexible for my schooling, and it was a good setup. And to be honest, nobody called. Nobody called, and eventually they did. But at those early days, I think I got 1 or 2 calls an hour where I would help them either with their order or place an order for them. That taught me to expand in your current situation. So 1-800-Contacts was very innovative for their time. They were obsessed about their customers, and I was learning all of that. And they were willing to try things out. They were willing to fail. They were willing to explore and pivot if needed. So I learned some of those skills. Some of the hard skills I learned in that time, as I mentioned, I was going to school to learn how to do web design and web development. And in order to pass the time as a customer service representative on their support call, in their call center, they had locked down all of their computers. So you didn't have the internet, you didn't have any other tools other than the software they provided for you to place orders and check on orders. But they had Notepad++. Notepad is a basic Windows application that you can use to take notes. You can also use it to create HTML and CSS. And you just save the file out as a .html, and you put your HTML code in there and your CSS. So to pass the time, I would they did have the website. You could go to their website. You couldn't navigate anywhere else. I would recreate their website using Notepad++ over and over again. So I would practice what I was learning in school, write out the HTML, write out the CSS, get as far as I could recreating their website, delete the file, and do it again. And I did that more times than I can count, over and over and over and over again. And the thing that taught me was the code, the HTML, the CSS, and I got really, really good at reproducing their website. And Notepad++, although you can do that with you are capable of doing it, it's not. I wouldn't recommend it. The reason is there are more fancier tools that give you code hinting and tells you, and it will remind you of different things as you go to type out and suggestions. There are tools that help you do that. Notepad++ does not do this. So I had to bake it into my memory, HTML and CSS, and I practiced it so I became really, really fast at it. That taught me HTML and CSS very, very well. I did that for a good number of years. Doing that role, I think I worked for them in that situation for the next 2 years, where my last year of college, I got a opportunity to join the college working for them in their website development services, where it was the team that on campus, there was a team that was charged with making the website for the university. And I got a job working for the university as a web designer and developer, working on the Utah Valley University website. At the time, I made at the university about $7 an hour, and to be honest, it was less than I was making at the 1-800-CONTACTS as a customer service representative on their support call center, but it was an opportunity to get paid to do website design and development. And before I go into that, the last 6 to 8 months that I was at 1-800-CONTACTS, I got an opportunity to, as an internship, to work in their marketing department. I had a really good manager at 1-800-CONTACTS who knew that I was going to school for that, and he was looking out for me. And he said, he said, I'm going to help you see if there's any kind of opportunities here. He knew I was getting closer to graduation, and he looked around the business to see if there was any opportunity. He found out that there was not an opportunity to join their website development team working on the e-commerce site, but there was an opportunity to join the marketing department working with their SEO team. So I took an internship for the next, I think it was about 8 months, working, learning SEO and learning what that looked like. I didn't get a chance to use much of my programming skills or CSS skills, but I did see how that related to the code, and I met some really phenomenal people in their marketing department and doing SEO. So I spent about 6 to 8 months learning about linking natures and SEO. And SEO is, for those who don't know, search engine optimization. And learned as much as I could there. Fast forward again to about 6 to 8 months later, I got an opportunity offered to me to join Utah Valley University working on their web development services, working on the website for the university. And I decided to take that because that was more long-term, what I wanted to do. And I spent the last year and a half, 2 years, it was about a year, working for the Utah Valley University, applying my web development skills. I was still finishing school. As I mentioned, I was a senior. Um, I looked at it as that job, even though I didn't make, I made beans. In fact, my wife at the time, we didn't have any kids. My wife was a dental hygienist. We joked. She brought home the bacon, and I brought home the bacon bits. And so, for that last year, she worked. Now, the agreement I had with my wife, she wanted to be an at-home mom, and I wanted her to have that experience. I wanted to have my kids have their mom, and we didn't want to have two adults working. So the agreement was she would help me get through school. I would do the best I could to get the best degree, the best training I could, and then graduate, get a good job. She would be an at-home mom, full-time mom, and I would try to bring home bigger pieces of bacon. So that's what happened. She was 9 months pregnant at my graduation with our first child. I graduated with a bachelor's degree in internet technologies. She quit her job. She to be an at-home mom, and I started working for a very small tech company in Provo called Global Based Technologies. And that's where I'll end this story for today. I'll pick it up tomorrow, tell you a little more about my working history and the soft skills and the hard skills that I've learned on each one of those that has led me up to being able to produce and create Common Creatives and to launch it. So I'll end there. Until next time, have a good morning. See ya.
All right, guys, we're back. I actually just got home from my walk. It is still Monday, July 28th, and I'm just cleaning up my office, getting ready for my day, my 9 to 5 responsibilities. And I wanted to show you something real quick that my 6-year-old daughter gave me real quick. So I'll show you here. She drew me a picture of me with my CC shirt on. And I love this. I mentioned that part of this journey for me is letting the world know about Common Creatives, but I've also been bringing my family along, including my kids, of this journey of me doing this video journal. And on Sunday night, I showed them the intro video to this YouTube series, and my 6-year-old daughter, they've all been really, really supportive, and I've been asking them all along the way, should I do this? Is this something I should do? And they've all said yes, and they've all been supportive. I mentioned I haven't throughout these years I haven't shared too much about working on Common Creatives with them, other than I work on it at night, and they've seen the website every once in a while, or I wear my T-shirt, and so I've been trying to change that. I've been trying to bring my family along in my own personal goals of what I'm trying to accomplish in my life, and they've been really supportive. My kids have been really supportive. They all, again, I've asked them, should I do this YouTube thing, and they've all been saying yes. And I feel their support. I'm grateful for it. I'm trying to find that balance of not being engulfed in a business and startup, and be a dad first, and be a husband, and all that. But my daughter drew me this picture yesterday, and put it on my desk in a little envelope for me to open up, get open and from question mark. And it was from my daughter, my 6-year-old daughter, with my CC shirt on. So that's been fun. All right, see you guys. All right, guys. Good evening. It is Monday, July 28th at 10:50 p.m. It's in the evening, and just got the kids to bed. And I wanted to show you some quick dashboards that I'm going to be using on the business side of Common Creative. So I've been talking a lot about the design, the development, the platform. I wanted to show you some of the business metrics that I'm going to be using. What you're seeing in front of you is a dashboard, simple dashboard that I created years ago. You can see up above, it's the Common Creative members, so tracking how many members we have on the platform. And I started this back in 2017. You can see in 2017, when I first started tracking it, there were 30 members on the 2nd of January 2nd, 2017. And when I started doing some just posting on my social media account of what I was working on, it jumped up to 67 around the 13th, so about a couple weeks later, and then continued just to message it out to some friends, and a little bit of my own social media postings jumped up to 88 by the 19th of June, July, that area. By the end of 2017, we got up to 153 members. That was at the very January 1st, 2018. So by 2018, 153 members. So all of this has been kind of just organically grown. Again, going into 2018 at the top, starting at there, we had 153 members, continue to grow all the way up through the end of 2018. It ended at 215 members and that was January 7th, 2019. Going into 2019's chart, you see a big jump there. Went from 215 to 216, so not a huge jump there. 2019, I didn't do a whole lot of work on it. I didn't do a lot of marketing there. 2019 was pretty stale. 2020, same thing. Didn't really put a lot of effort into 2020. 2021, same thing. 2022, you can see a little increase up there. Those years, I was doing another business. My brother, who's also entrepreneurial, he invited me to work with him trying to get a business off the ground. And so those 2019 through 2022, where you see the graph going back up, Common Creatives kind of took a back burner. And so you didn't see it grow much. I didn't advertise it much. I didn't talk about it much. I was doing some other business ventures. But you can see when I came back to it, down in June, it was like July 2022, I did some SEM campaigns. SEM is like search engine optimization, but it's more like you pay to be listed in areas. I had very small funds. I had a good friend that works in SEO and SEM, and he did some campaigns for me just to kind of test the waters. Again, we were putting like a few dollars a day into doing a few Google campaigns. Very, very small amount. Mostly I was testing keywords to see what would resonate with people. But you can see at that time we went from 280 up to 373. And again, that was like in the span of about a month. Really what we were testing is kind of some keywords. We were putting a couple cents to a few dollars per day, and we saw a good jump there. That continued to grow until we hit 386 at the end of 2022. 2023, we had a big jump there. We went from 386 up to 392 around February and stayed kind of flat again. Kind of put Common Creatives on the back burner. Didn't do a whole lot of marketing campaigns. I was working on some other business ventures. And that brings me to 2024. Same thing I mentioned in previous videos. Didn't do anything in 2024. Working on the business. So anytime you see this kind of flat line is because I was focusing on trying to get other businesses off the ground, trying some other ideas that were outside of Common Creatives, which loops me back to 2025. And here we are. That's why I'm doing these videos. And the big takeaway is anytime I was working on advertising, trying to get this out there into the world, I'll bet just even small little bits, it's grown. It's jumped up, which where you see now we're at 405. So that's where we started January 6th, 2025 at 405. That's where the site is currently at 405 members on today's date. And we're on July 28th at 10:56 p.m. So that's where we're at. 405 members. They span over a couple of states. In a future video, I'll show you the states that we've got members in. But that dashboard is going to use that to keep my numbers straight. I did create some other ones here, although there's nothing impressive to look at. So they're same tracking. We've got a job board postings for this should be 2025. I started it 2022, so I need to update that. I'll just make sure that says 2025, but it's at 0, right? I've had some postings in the past, but I haven't been tracking them on this dashboard. So it's part of our goals, as you've heard me talk about in the videos in the past. It's part of our goals, so we're going to start tracking it. Again, one of our goals, the goal for the members is to get 1,000 by this time next year. For the job board postings, we want to have 100 from businesses. And then this last dashboard is e-com sales. So any kind of sales, merchandise that we sell on the store, we're going to track it on here. I'm doing it by volume, not by dollar amount. So that just maps to the goal I have. The goal is to sell 500 items. So right now we're reporting a 0. And the chart is empty, but that's where you can come in and help out. Go on over to the store, place an order, and we'll start tracking that on our e-com store business tracker. So created these. This is like Excel. This is actually Apple numbers. I'm just using that because I prefer that one, but it's like Excel and gives me an opportunity to track this progress for our goals we've got for leading up to next year. All right, guys, that's all I wanted to show you tonight. I'm going to sign off, and then I'll see you tomorrow morning. Have a good night.